Good afternoon, I'm Karen Holmes Ward. Welcome to Cityline. The emergence of culture wars fueled by conservative politicians has been spreading into schools across the nation for years, even here in Massachusetts. But first, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis taking direct aim at equity in education.
We're not going to teach our kids to hate our country or to hate each other.
Florida's governor is taking bold steps, amplifying the far right's grievances in policy and legislation.
We've done things like eliminate critical race theory from our K through 12 schools.
DeSantis has also barred a new advanced placement class on African American history, and he's attempting to overhaul higher education by banning gender studies majors and minors, eliminating diversity programs, and any hiring based on diversity. In D.C., House Republicans leaning into the culture war issue, passing an education bill that emphasizes parental rights in the classroom. But House Democrats argue it could make it easier to ban books. PEN America, a nonprofit that advocates for the freedom of creative expression, reports that more than 1,600 books were banned at schools and libraries in the 2021-2022 school year.
In Florida, we say very clearly, we will never, ever surrender to the woke mob. Our state is where woke goes to die.
Florida's present reality could become the nation's future if folks don't join in with us and do all that we can to push back against Ron DeSantis and these culture wars.
Well, it turns out that there are smaller skirmishes in the culture wars right here in Massachusetts. Joining us today to talk about a local attempt to influence racial equity in Newton Public Schools are Angela Pitter. She's a former school committee member for Newton Public Schools, and Natasha Wariku, a professor of sociology at Tufts University. Hello, how are you both? Welcome to the program. So recently, the Newton School Committee unanimously voted against a petition from a group to form an advisory committee to have influence over curriculum and goals. And the petition for this local committee, the Academic Principals Advisory Committee, had support and language similar to a national organization, Foundation Against Intolerance and Racism, also called FAIR, which in name sounds like something that is fair and supportive of diversity efforts. But Angela, tell us about your opposition to this group, and isn't it a good thing for parents to want to have input into what is being taught in their schools?
It's a very good thing, but let me start by thanking you for having me here today. I really appreciate this. And this is a very important topic, and I loved Governor DeSantis talking about being woke. Well, this petition actually woke up the city of Newton. It woke up the parents, it woke up the educators, it woke up our Newton School Committee. And it wasn't just FAIR, and I think that was, FAIR brought the petition forward. But there was also another organization, PDE, Parents Defending Education, another name that sounds nice. But when you dig into these, what Parents Defending Education was also doing was actually trying to go after various school districts. They have gone after Milton's, their calculus project. They've gone after Newton. Even last year, they went after one of our plays, Lost and Found, where it was black and brown students in the plays. And they've now come back to Newton, to our Dover Legacy Scholars, and they're going now after that program. So
let me just insert here and ask a devil's advocate question. If I could try to represent their position, some parents in those groups said that they feel disenfranchised and that white students are left out of some of these enrichment programs that you're talking about, these enrichment opportunities that are designed for students of color. How do you respond to that?
So I would say Newton gives every student what it needs. And frankly, it's not always academics. I mean, sometimes it's SEL, especially now since COVID. Social emotional learning is a big aspect of what's going on in the district. But in terms of equity, you can't access the curriculum. So if they're talking about excellence for all, you can't access the curriculum if you don't feel connected to the schools. And one of the surveys that they had in the schools was a connectedness survey. And most of the black and brown kids had said that they did not feel connected to the schools. Now that has improved over time because of these programs. Like the Calculus Project.
So over 100 students, parents, and concerned citizens showed up at this meeting to testify, mostly against the proposal. How did it feel to have so many people there to engage?
I was very excited. And, there was like a number of reasons why they showed up. Some people were, just really upset that they're not following the process. Every parent has a complaint in every school district, but there's a process. A protocol that you follow. You talk to your teachers, you talk to your principals, you talk to the heads of departments, you could go to the school committee. There's a process. Why did we need to petition this organization need a petition for that?
Okay. And I want to turn to Natasha. As Angela said, we've seen lawsuits against towns like Milton, Wellesley, alleging that programs that give targeted support to Black and Latinx students are discriminatory. Most recently, a civil rights complaint against Newton North's Dover Legacy Program, as Angela just mentioned. Why the national interest in these local schools?
So, yeah, I want to thank you again for having me and calling attention to this issue, because this really is a national effort. And so I think, we have these organizations that are very well funded by conservative individuals and organizations like the Koch brothers, Heritage Foundation, and they are trying to make inroads and politicize K-12 education. This is sort of the next vanguard that they are attacking. And I also just want to point out that, it's a kind of a cruel irony that we have laws that are designed to protect specifically African Americans, our 14th Amendment, the Civil Rights Act, and all of these protections are now being weaponized against programs that are designed to help African Americans and other underrepresented minority groups. And so these groups are saying that this is racial discrimination. When you look at their website, Dr. Martin Luther King features on the front, he was probably turning in his grave, because this is not the vision that he had. Yeah. But they're sort of flipping this narrative and talking about, and these are districts that there are very few Black and Latinx students, and many of those who are at these schools are coming from a busing program from Boston. So they're not even residents of those districts. And so you can imagine how they might already feel marginalized in these communities, not being residents of the community.
Natasha, is there a specific strategy, do you think, behind targeting schools in liberal states or areas like Massachusetts to kind of further this national conversation?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that the strategy is really target everywhere. And when you look at, again, these websites, they have a map, and they show here's where we have complaints, and they are really sort of scattershot. And I think the idea is to have a chilling effect. So there are dozens of complaints with the federal government. Only a few have been pursued. But what does that do? That makes school districts think twice when they design a program like the Legacy Scholar Program, like the play that you talked about in Newton. And so and that is precisely what these organizations are trying to do. They're trying to have this impact where people are afraid, and they think twice about, should I order that book for the school library? Should we have this program? And that's extremely problematic. We've made great strides. We have a long way to go since the civil rights movement, and this is just going to push us backwards.
Do you think we can expect to see more of these petitions and lawsuits in other school districts in the Massachusetts area?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I think the school board, the school committee, that's the low-hanging fruit. When you think about local government, that's like the easiest level to get in. So you get elected as school committee, then you go for the counselor position, then you go for the mayor position, then you go for the governor position. So these people get in on the ground level, and then they work their way up. So I think that is definitely a strategy and why they're going after the school districts.
So what, if anything, can schools and communities do to keep from fanning the flames of these controversies around DE&I? Natasha?
My advice is to not back down and not be afraid and to organize. And so I went to that school committee meeting in Newton because I was curious about what was the discussion going to be like. And I was really heartened to see a lot of community members coming out, speaking up. And I think it's really important not to, not order a book. If the school librarian thinks it's a good book, don't fear, people coming in and protesting. And I think that is really important, to just stand your ground, think about what the community believes in, and stand behind that.
All right, Angela Pitter and Natasha Owariku, thank you for joining us, being here with us.